to go, and I feel like my dream was taken away.
Were you a chef already?
I was like a sous chef, yeah, and I was like started as a dish cleaner.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So the first time you like held a knife, how did it feel?
It felt like it's natural.
Tell us about the trip. Do you like it in Russia?
ที่เขาพูดว่าโหดสัตว์รัสเซีย is like it's definitely true.
Yeah. Okay. So. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Vic and this is Comedy Featuring. Welcome to the show. Our guest today, you guys might have seen him before on TV, hosting a show called ภาษา that's on Channel 3. And of course, he's on TikTok. Everybody seems to be on TikTok nowadays. But this person, he's been on TikTok for quite some time now, with currently 1 million followers. He's a handsome guy, very cool looking, obviously, because no surprise, he used to be a fashion model. I think he's still modeling from time to time here and there. And his voice, very unmistakable.
สวัสดีครับเบบีวันนี้เรามาทำยำง่ายๆกันดีกว่าครับผม enjoy นะครับผม
Very unique and very soft, very pleasant. And his cooking, of course, we have to talk about his cooking. I'm sure that if you happen to catch one of his videos at night, you'll be very hungry, I promise. And what else? His cats.So cute. You know what? Let's go talk to this guy. สวัสดีคุณบุชครับ
สวัสดีครับผม
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm pretty good myself. Thank
You seem a bit nervous.
Yes, a little bit. Like ever since I got a message from you guys, I'm like, holy shit. I don't know if I can do this. It's an hour long, but then I don't know. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's just talk.
All right.
So Bush Lechan,
ครับ
right? Most people call you Chef Bush, of course.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to where it all began.
All right.
First of all, have you done a full English interview before?
No, like never. This is like my proper first
Wow, cool.
like English interview.
We are honored. Okay. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Bangkok. And yeah, but during my time I went on studying abroad in America and Australia.
At what age?
I think I was 16.
I see.
So a group of my friends, including me, we went on taking a test called like AFS. I think you know. And I think it's quite unfair because like some of my friends, they didn't want to go. They didn't want to go to whatever it takes them, but they just want to take a test and see how good they are.
Right.
And none of them, and I think half of them like definitely got in the interviewing process and stuff like that, and I didn't, and I was like, shit.
and you did want to go.
I didn't want to go, and I feel like my dream was taken away, and it's a dream that I never had.
Right.
So I looked online and I found like a program for me. So I was that. Foreign exchange student in America for 1 year.
So where was it first? You've been to most America and Australia, right?
In America, just 1 year. I went to Dixon, Illinois, which is still now a really small town, like 30,000 people.
Yeah, I think most of AFS students, exchange students, got sent to a small town, right?
Yeah.
Never a big city.
Never.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I did had a really good time there, and I never want to come back and studying like
in Thai school.
Yeah, I didn't want to attend uni in Thai.
I see.
So I had to ผมต้องไปทำเรื่องจบกับ GED. And the easiest country, my choice that I had was Australia. So I went on to Australia.
Okay, and you lived in Australia and went to school there for how many years?
I think 5 years.
5. So altogether like 6 years.
6-7 years abroad.
Before you came back to Thailand.
Yes.
And what got you back to Thailand?
I don't know. Like all my friends are like international kids.
Right.
And they all went home. So I didn't have any friends back.
Okay.
Left, so I decided to come home as well.
Yeah. So what was the life in Australia like?
Well,
did you have a good time?
In America and Australia, I did had a really fantastic time. Back then, it was like quite easygoing, and none of this Asian hate, none of that really happened during my time.
Cool.
And it was just like pure joy. I really enjoyed it. It was back then when like it was like a 90s high school movies.
Yeah.
So none of this like right now we have like it's harder these days, and there are a lot of like insensitive stuff we cannot say, and I don't know. Back then it was pretty flowy.
Yeah. Similar time.
Yeah, simple times.
Yeah. And what were you studying in Australia? In the uni?
I actually did marketing. Because like I really want to get into art school or film, but you have to have like experience and portfolio to get in there. And being an Asian kid, starting an over like it was too hard for me back then. So I didn't want to bother. So I'm like, okay, marketing.
Okay, so what else did you do? I mean, what do you do for fun besides like school?
I was working all the time. Like I didn't really have. I was poor.
Okay. We have to make a living, right? You have to make money.
I was poor. I was working in restaurants like on weekends and Fridays. And
all right. So what did you do at the restaurant?
Well,
Were you a chef already?
I was like a sous chef, and I was like started as a dish cleaner.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And then they taught me how to like work, getting more skills, and then I was a sous chef sort of, and
Okay,
waiter
so,
as well.
Yeah, right after the dishwashing job, what was the first function for you in the kitchen? Like, are you on the saute guy or the grill guy, or what did you do?
The saute guy and like the shopping preparation, something like that. So I learned all of those techniques and like and skill set from that, and it just made me a lot faster in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But the menus in the restaurants are quite repetitive, so I don't really like learn all the cuisines and such in Australia.
Well, what kind of restaurant was it? Was it like Western?
I was working in Thai restaurant.
Oh, Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow. So the first dish, the first food you learned how to cook is Thai.
Well, it's not that I learned. It's not that I was learn from restaurant. It's just like sort of.
Okay. So the first time cooking for you, was it like a love at first sight, or was it gradual? Like,
I don't really know. I was so young. I started cooking since I was very young, and I definitely had it in me. Like, I like cooking, but I didn't really think that I'm gonna pursue like a cooking career.
I see.
Yeah.
So the first time you like held a knife, how did it feel? Did you feel like, oh, I can do this, or it did take some time for you to learn?
It felt like it's natural.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like it's just like riding a bike. Like you just do it.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
Not really have to self-train myself that much. I don't want to sound like that, but it did happen.
It is natural to you.
Okay.
We also heard that your grandparents had a restaurant in Yawarat, right?
Yes.
Was that somehow related to what you do right now?
Well, what my mom had told me like stories about like she would get up at 3 or 4 to buy like sen yai from like a wholesale store.
Yeah.
But I never seen a restaurant. I think I wasn't born back then. Like
okay. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Now, like long time ago, and I grew up in my house, and like, this house is made from the money from that restaurant, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it definitely runs in my family, like the passion of cooking. The passion of cooking, but then I don't really know if it did ignite or sparkle the fire that I have now.
So you used to be a model. Are you still modeling?
No, not really. I think I sucked at it. I'm not really good at modeling.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good starting platform for some
see.
people. But for me, I feel like I have specific look, and it's really hard to get into modeling these days. And it's quite like a private thing. I don't know, especially in Thailand. So, I got last year. Ever since I've been doing TikTok, I've been doing a fashion shoot and stuff like that, and they're fun. But yeah.
Okay. So how long has it been for you on TikTok?
It's, I think 2 years now.
2 years. Basically, since COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you do it more and on a regular basis.
Yeah. During the COVID lockdown, I first started my first TikTok during that time, and well, I see people cooking and stuff like that, and I thought it would be fun, so I want to try it too.
Do you have any idea beforehand that okay, if I want to create my TikTok channel, this is how it's going to be, or you just jump right into it and see what happens?
Well, I think same as a lot of people during my time, we didn't really have strategy. We just do because it's fun and it's exciting.
Yeah.
And
the best way to start, right?
Yeah, and we didn't do it for sponsor as well. So I have gone doing my videos without having a sponsorship for almost a year.
Yeah.
To collecting fan base, and it was really a fun time for me. But it's starting to get really exhausting because you have to keeping up with contents and I don't know if you come up with a really underperformed video, your fans will ooh, and you do that for no reason, no payment, and I'm well, okay. So I think it was that time that I feel I was ready to do sponsorships, and I didn't know I can build a career. From
But
that.
obviously you're doing it as a career now, and you're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you. So I try to keep it. So I try to keep my style of cooking, and my videos are quite informative, so you can learn a lot from me, even though I sell sponsors too.
Yeah. So as you do it more and more and longer, do you think it gets easier or more challenging? Because maybe sometimes when you do it on the regular basis, you get better and better at doing something, but at the same time you want to be more different, always creating something unique and coming up with something new. Do you think that's something that is too much pressure?
I think it's same as every job. You can hit plateau sometimes. So what you do, you just break out of it, and you just for me, I go travel, and I make travel contents and come up with new and exciting, just a fun video, and then I can go back and do regular stuff because that's what it works for me. And I don't feel I need to change it. Definitely within 2 years' time, I don't need to feel no need to modify yourself within the 2 years' time. In fact, I did a little bit. I did move from the garage to the kitchen.
Right.
And I was asked a lot, why you move, why you're not outside anymore. And I think the fact is I now have a studio at home, and I don't know if clients prefer it that way, but it's easier for me. It's you can see the food much better in studio lighting.
Right. Natural light.
Yeah.
And in the backyard with your cats and
that was fun too, but then I moved, and I sort of moved on from that garage scene a little bit.
Okay, so talking about traveling, let's see if you can still remember some of your trips. So I'm gonna give you some words here.
Okay.
Dolma.
Oh, of course.
So what is this word remind you of?
Well, I've
you
learned-
remember?
Yes, I actually took a class in Cappadocia, Turkey, and we learned how to make dolma from the grave leaves.
Yeah. So describe this thing for our audience. Maybe they don't know what it
ก็
is.
คือเขาเป็นใบองุ่นห่อด้วยข้าวผสมกับเนื้อครับผมแล้ว
So this is a kind of dish, right? But
it's sort of like a starter in a way, but เป็นTurkish dish.
Turkish dish. This is what it looks like
แต่ก็คือมีประเทศอื่นที่ในMiddle East หรือว่าก็ทานนะครับโดมาครับผม
ไม่ได้เป็นอาหารประจำชาติตุรกีขนาด
I'm
นั้น
not
ใช่ไหม
really
ครับ
sure but then I learned how to cook this in Turkey ครับผม
but they eat it a lot in Turkey right
ครับ
okay so so this is from your trip right and what about this Saint Basil's Cathedral do you remember where it is
I forgot I think it's in Russia
yeah it's in Russia right okay so tell us about the trip do you like it in Russia
I didn't really like Russia that much ที่เขาพูดว่าโหดสัตว์รัสเซีย is like it's definitely true
yeah okay so in which way that it is โหดสัตว์
well like I remember taking a picture in front of that แบบว่าช่วง that คือช่วง square นั่นนะครับเขาเรียกว่า square ใช่ไหมครับ and I think I got like โดนแบบโดนเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะโดนที่เขามาเอาเงินอ่ะ
อ๋อเหรอ
ใช่เขาแบบ
โดนไถอย่างนี้เลย
โดนไถใช่ก็คือแบบว่าเขาก็ใส่ชุดแบบคอสตูมใช่ไหมครับแล้วเขาก็มาขอผมถ่ายรูปแบบมาถ่ายรูปให้เราแล้วก็มาถ่ายรูปคู่กับเขาใส่คอสตูม
You didn't know that was a service they're providing
ใช่เขาก็ใส่คอสตูมกันจริงจังเลยแล้วแบบแฟนผมก็แบบไม่ดีแล้วเพราะว่าถึงเขาใส่คอสตูมแบบจริงจังเลยแบบแต่คือเขาแบบเหม็นกลิ่นเหล้ามากๆเลยใช่แล้วเราก็ไปยืนถ่ายรูปแล้วเสร็จแล้วเราก็ I thought it was like for free
right.
and then they asked me for like payment
wow what did you do
ก็ตอนนั้นผมเป็นคนที่แบบ cashless ตั้งนานแล้วผมเป็นคนไม่ค่อยพกเงินสดผมมีเท่านี้จริงๆผมมีแค่แบบ1,000หรือเป็นเงินไทยนะครับมีแค่1,000จริงๆก็เลยให้เขาไปเท่านั้นเขาก็เหมือนแบบ likeเขาก็ไม่พอใจเพราะว่าเขาอยากได้ประมาณแบบเยอะกว่านั้น
wow it's a shame okay so what about this the Rose City what do you remember about the Rose City
there's so many Rose cities hold on ที่ไหนครับokay yeah Jordan Rose City ครับผม
how do you like Jordan
Indiana Jones I loved it
yeah
I'm planning to go back I think it's like this one is touristy and it's crowded but it's worth it
yeah it's the huge attraction right
ครับผมสวยมากๆเลยแล้วก็แบบเหมือนในหนังเลย out of the movie ครับ
so what else do you like about Jordan how about the food
I think the food was delicious I has the best falafel over there and it's the city usually when you go to countries like this you would hate the capital but I'm in love with Amman and it's pretty cool
right wow cool so we were talking before about your planning to travel again now that the country is open right so what do you have for travel plan
so next month I'm going to Indonesia I'm going to Bali and I'm going to Fukuoka Japan and in November during my birthday I'm going to Uzbekistan
wow so is it going to be your first time for those places
not Japan not Bali but then Uzbekistan definitely
wow so why Uzbekistan
well I'm so intrigued by the country itself like I think it's one of the two countries in the world that it's got double landlocked from the sea
I see
so for the food คือสิ่งที่เขาทานได้ก็มีแบบเนื้อแกะวัวม้าอะไรอย่างเงี้ย so like I really want to go try their cuisines
horse meat because we were talking about horse meat in Fukuoka right have you had horse meat before
I don't remember I think probably like a bite like one time thing tastes like just regular cow I think cow meat
yeah so I guess you're very open to like experimenting when it comes to food right is that a good like quality of a chef
yes I think
you have to be very open-minded right
you have to try like new food ครับผม
yeah
all right
yeah cool all right so you're a TikTok chef and do you want to be a chef in real life like opening a restaurant someday and be a chef in a restaurant
I never had those dreams ever I know how hard it is to work in a restaurant
right
and it's challenging and especially like with the economy. I don't know if I want to get into that, but I like to get into like teaching or something like that.
I see.
Somewhere along those lines.
So like teaching how to cook like
Yeah, or like something like that.
all right so what else do you have as a plan besides traveling I mean in life as a career or anything new you want to try
I think there are quite many things that I never done before, but I'm quite certain with myself. I'm quite sure with myself like what I want to do in life, and I have like my mindset like definitely I want to get more. I want to like expand my career as a TV personality or make just like make my channel basically. I want it to grow more and more.
yeah so you're also on like IG and YouTube right
Yeah, and also my Facebook page. Yeah,
okay.
So I'm quite popular
you're everywhere
on Facebook page. Like
okay
it's sort of like become my main channel right now because you can post like TikTok. You cannot post
yeah.
your personal photos, but on your page you can.
Okay, so when it comes to content, what else do you want to try? What kind of different things do you think you should get your hands on?
Well, like I've been to Vietnam for a week, and that week I dedicated myself to just filming. I came back with like food videos and I uploaded, and they're doing so well. Like so, I want to get more of that. I want to get into more of the international food scenes.
Yeah.
So I want to travel and make longer contents.
So combine like traveling with food. That's
Yeah.
perfect match, right?
Or maybe I can like rent an Airbnb and cook overseas, something like
Wow.
that. So something new and exciting, but definitely still relevant to food and my channel.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
ครับผม
All right, so what kind of food is good for Bush Lashan?
So
What is your definition of delicious?
So I think my go-to food is something that makes, for me, like definitely gonna be something that makes you feel good. And I like, well, this is something that I like to explain in English. I don't want to, if I do interviews in Thai, you're gonna see how wrong it is.
Okay.
If I say in Thai. So I like my red meat with bitter greens and sweet vinaigrettes. And if I say all of this in Thai, I would sound like an asshole. I would be like, ผมชอบกินเนื้อแดงผักเขียวๆหน่อยน้ำสลัดหวานๆ But if I say in English,
It's fine, right? Yeah, it's just food. Yeah.
And I like potatoes.
Oh, cool.
ครับผม
All right. So thank you so much for coming by. And we had a lot of fun talking to you on the show. And I'm sure a lot of people would want to go follow his channel on Facebook, on TikTok. I'm a huge fan on TikTok. And please keep putting out contents because yours are delicious.
All right.
Thank you so much, Rush.
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณ
Thank you
ครับ
ครับ Thank you for having me ขอบคุณนะครับ